Hello, hello, hello. Happy time zone, and welcome to the farm. I'm guessing that's you, Tav, in chat. If it's not and you don't know me, my name is Fig. I'm a trans streamer from the Southwest United States, and I'm generally a cozy variety streamer. Lately, as in my first stream Monday, we've been playing Palia. I have big plans for a visual novel / otome game day on Valentine's Day, and from there, we'll kind of just see what strikes my fancy. So right now, we're going to be getting back into building the rooftop patio that we were working on Monday. We got kind of the base figured out on this side, albeit with some minor flaws that I'm not super thrilled about, but we can fix those later. So today, most of what I'm worried about is getting this duplicated to the other side of the roof and figuring out if we need to do anything unique over here. So without further ado, let's get started. I did also fix my stairs up a little bit on the side and turned them into a ramp just to make it easier and a little less jarring since I have to go up and down so often to see what's happening on the inside of the house. But yeah, let me see what I can do about getting this mirrored. I do need to make more supports. And then this looks like it's the identical piece to this box here, which if I remember correctly was fairly easy to incorporate. So I'm going to get the supports made first. Oh, it's Paul. Hello. Thanks for coming in. Also, just for the sake of having this up, all of the glitches that I'll be using today, including the base structure of the attic, are from Code Red Alert on YouTube. That's his link. Go check him out. He also does a very good job of specifying whether glitches are compatible with Switch or only PC. So definitely give his videos a watch if you want to follow along or recreate this yourself. How are you doing, Paul? And all I'm doing here is getting set up for the rotation glitch. I believe yesterday I was using 2 ticks of rotation for each support pillar. Yes. And then just straightening them back out to add more. I can probably do this all in one step, but I like to check and make sure that I didn't screw anything up before I commit to it too hard, because that does happen a lot. Also, I'm going to need 5, it looks like, so I'll make 3 more. It goes okay, Paul. How about you? Nope. It would help if I actually did the cancellation for the glitch. Glad you're not doing bad. Okay. Oop. Always make sure you grab your anchor and not your anchored object. Doesn't really help unless you're doing object cancellation to get things to snap into place later. But that's not currently the plan. I didn't have any issues with those last night with collision, so I should be able to leave them intact for now. And also, I won't be going as late tonight as I did Monday. My wife should be coming home at her normal time and not going to bingo with the old folks on our team. So I'll be hopping off around 5:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Possibly a little earlier if we hit a good stopping point before then. Oop. And then I did post on my Blue Sky, and Paul, you and I were talking about it a bit. There is a little teaser for what games I'm planning on playing on Valentine's Day. There are a couple of others I have in mind that I just didn't need to purchase today because I already had them. So definitely stay tuned. I'm going to try to figure out a rough itinerary of when I'll be playing each game. And for the shorter ones, whether I'm doing multiple runs, that sort of thing. So I'll post that as we get a little bit closer. And yeah, it's going to be about 11 hours, so I'm excited and already exhausted. Yeah, which for context, my normal workday is 12 and a half, and I'm a process trainer. So when I'm training somebody new, I have to talk constantly. So you'd think I'd be fine, but I also have much more regimented breaks, and I take extra breaks when somebody's new so that they can kind of get acclimated. And I was not good on Monday about drinking enough water while streaming. So I'm trying to be better about it today. Hopefully build better habits so that I don't die on Valentine's Day, but we shall see. And there will be a half hour, 45-minute lunch in there. And then, whatever, number of breaks. So, what time in the morning is that going to be for you, Paul? I probably won't be up late enough to watch. If I was still on leave, I would be, but... Yeah, no, I will not be up at midnight. Because after tomorrow, I have to be up at 3:30 a.m. for the following 3 days. So I'll wish you luck. And I haven't given you a shouty yet today. Go follow Paul. He's great. What games are you streaming over the next couple of days so that people know? I'm impressed you're still trying to stick with honor mode. Have you wiped again yet? Well, maybe it'll be the early morning groggies that get you to wipe again. If you do, I definitely expect messages in Discord. Okay, sounds good. How did... Okay. I'll have to see. I might have miscounted how many I need. I also realized I could put all of these on a pallet and bring them up, but... Figured a little bit more exercise wouldn't hurt my character, since I haven't been hunting. Okay. So... I think this is the way the boards are facing. Yes. I'm gonna go back to expanding this. I had talked a bit yesterday about trying to be consistent about what you're placing things onto and staggering placement where you can. So each of these is individually placed onto this wall. They're not placed onto each other. So as I have to adapt that to put these connecting to the floors adjacent to them instead, it'll start to slightly warp what they look like, or what their connections look like, rather. But it's going to be small enough for a small enough duration that's mostly covered up by this box that I don't care too much. And that's only slightly a lie. It will bother me, but I'm just going to choose not to look at it. Okay, see you soon. Oop. One of the reasons why I got so burnt out on the other roof build was because I tried to stick with it as much as I could, for as long as I could each time I decided to work on it, because I didn't want to forget how I did things. And it having been recorded for stream last on Monday doesn't necessarily help because I didn't watch the stream. I haven't edited the VOD yet. So it's going to be guesswork. I'm just glad it's not this box all over again, because this was a nightmare. But this one I think is pretty straightforward. And then it just got a little funky here to cover up the corner of that internally. So let's go look at that, and hopefully it'll be as easy as I think it is. That's that part. Although we do have this guy here, which I might want to incorporate. So we'll see. So I'm gonna put this down over here because we always need a standing item to be able to do collision glitching. And a lot of times with building blocks, you don't end up having issues with collision just like that, but it's not a guarantee. So I always like to set myself up as best I can before I get rolling, um, just in case the snapping is a little weird or something like that. Though, of course, not needing the collision item meant that I used it up, but that's okay. So that's that, and then 2 of these, which I will need collision for. And then I think I had to use a gourmet plate down here to get the height right. Yes, I did. Okay. That's what I remember being sticky about it. And I haven't fully decided what I'm going to do with this yet, but we did some testing on Monday and discovered that it was possible to... Interesting. It was possible to put garden plots on top of red presents. And as a result, I've been very tempted to do this as a rooftop garden with, you know, some seating and stuff around it. I'm not sure if I want to commit to that, but I did start growing out my garden on my main plot so that hopefully it'll be ready for me to place maybe next Monday, this coming Monday, when we're ready to start decorating this. We'll see if it works out that way, and we'll see if I can decorate it in a way that it reads garden to me. But I think it could look really cool if I manage to pull it off and if it all goes according to plan. Tiny gap there, okay. It's a little bit bigger than I want. Yep. Welcome back, Paul. Yep. Wrong inventory row. That's a little too close. I don't remember this being this finicky last time, but hopefully we can get it somewhat accurate pretty quick here. This could also partially be a result of the build that's giving us these little stuck out pieces being slightly uneven, because I believe this is Yeah, it's part of what makes the inside of the attic look curved. Um, which was fun to do, but left a lot of evidence on the outside. And because I was doing it all manually with just what I could manage from the grids, I'm not too surprised if it's a little uneven. That looks pretty good. I'm gonna run with that. And then I think from there it was a centered wall. And just the one, yep. Oh, and then the lid on it was a little funky. And this one may have required collision, so I'm going to set myself up for that. Yes, it did. Okay. And I'm going to get down in line with it a little bit more so that it doesn't place itself flat like these walls were. So that worked. And now the lid was ever so slightly above. So I'm going to set myself over here. This is also what I mean when I say that something's a construction zone, because these odds and ends are all going away eventually, but not until I'm relatively confident I don't need them anymore. Okay. That one didn't need any help. And then I connected them to each other here, I believe, so that I could make sure the height was even without, having to get under them and see. And I'm gonna snap these in. I am a little worried because I don't remember specifically if these were the ones that gave me room for the chandelier or where else they might have stuck out. And if this height isn't the same as the other side, it could look a little funky. So before I go any further, I'm going to head down there and check it out. With my main plot, I had kind of just decorated and then expanded as I went and unlocked new things. So there was never really a time when it was just a dead zone. Okay, it doesn't look like anything's really visible. That center pane covers all of it. That's good. But like, unless I had just added a fresh room on, there was nothing too strange about how the house looked. Right now, this entire house is just like wood panels and, beige walls. And it keeps throwing me off. And then I have the lantern bug roof there, but it's just a skeleton. And it's not worth keeping like the chessboard and stuff down there because I have to move it every time I actually want to put fresh lightning bugs up. So it's just like, well, there's no color allowed here. It's fine. Okay, I needed one more wood plank. It doesn't look like this one needs collision glitching. I'm just gonna place that in there. And that looks pretty even to what I have here. Although, if I'm lucky, I can move this up just a little bit. I do not appear to be lucky. Alright. So that's that mirrored. We have all the supports. Oh. Oh no. Okay, so one of these, I'm guessing this one, got attached to the pillar. I'm guessing it's because it was my collision piece and it went on, no problem. But I have to redo this a little bit. So I'm just going to take this. Since it's wanting to turn, I'm just going to pick it up entirely and start over. Sometimes, unexpectedly, that'll happen. But it doesn't seem to always happen when you grab. Hello, Vince. Enjoy your lurk. No worries at all. Thank you for being here. But sometimes it'll seem like nothing happens and everything will still be fine. Sometimes it'll decide to attach itself to things in strange ways. So that's what happened, but luckily this was the easier part of the build. So it was a non-issue. Okay, so there's that. And we can pick that up now, so we're good. I still don't like these little peekaboo corners that we have on both of them. But this area, I think, is going to be mostly covered because I want to put a second layer of flooring underneath and light up the rooftop from that bottom floor. I haven't checked yet to see if the lights I'd like to use for it are going to fit. I think they are about a block tall. So we might have to play around with it. I'm hoping I don't have to raise the floor up more than it is to get it to work out, but we'll see. In the meantime, I do want to cover up this little section. And it's not going to match perfectly, but I think I'll use these walls that are sticking out to... I could just extend this as well, because that should match up. Let me try that before I do anything else. And I'm going to give myself an extra here. I am going to put it over here out of my field of view a little bit, because if you put it too close to directly between you and what you're trying to snap to, it'll usually just automatically cancel it for you and not let you do it. I will have to go down into the attic to see what this looks like, just to be safe. If this one even wants to snap for me. And it's looking like it might not want to. Let me see what that first one looks like, because there are things I can do to make that work if I want to. That kind of will play off of the cancellation placement thing that I was talking about earlier. But, oof. Yeah, for it sticking into the wall like that, it's not worth the effort. So instead, I'm going to see if it'll let me do the same thing on both sides that it's trying to do on the one I couldn't get to work. It was allowing me to overlap the two floors together, which leaves a pattern that I'm not fond of, but I don't know that I'm gonna care about that section of the roof too much. So let me grab that, take my collision piece, and it's letting me do this. So you can see that there are 2 layers of wood here, but they're almost exactly the same height, minus the ridges that are on every piece of wood floor. And it doesn't look awful. So I'm gonna see if it'll let me do it with this half as well. And it looks like, oops. It will. It's misaligned, so I'm going to try attaching it to the other one instead. Okay. That's tolerable. It's not my favorite, but that'll work. I'm not going to put another support up here because I don't think I'm going to have this roof go that far over. Whether I'm going to put walls down here is another question. But based on the widths that we have right now, I think I'm going to leave it. I do want to add some sort of support underneath that platform, like I have on my main plot. Something down here, just so that it's not a ton of, potential weight resting on nothing. But that's going to take a little bit more figuring out, and possibly some more floors put through attached to probably this wall, if I can get them to stick through just a teensy bit. I think I'm going to wait on that for just a minute though, and work on filling in the rest of this roof. I'm going to wait on these panels and just focus on the boxes. And I want all of the grain on the boxes to match if possible. So I've been facing the same direction when I place them, so that all of the grain lines up. It's not super important. Some people will recommend that you alternate which way the grain faces, so that it looks more varied and natural. I like things to be samey when it's small details like this, but whatever floats your boat works. Is that Looks slightly off, but I think it's okay. This is one where I might also have to do the cancellation glitch. So I'm going to pick this up, put the third one I need that's not working for me here, and I'm gonna just put it over here and pull out a wood floor. I just hit whatever was in my first slot. Vince, that absolutely sounds like you. I think I've seen you try to do that with the wood walls, how they have the one slanting board in them. And it's always very sad when you realize that something went wrong. Just like that. I hadn't noticed when this box rotated on me, I guess. So, as much as that perfectly snapped into position, that's still not justification to not finish a plot. That's just motivation to do better, right? Okay, now that's aligned. Okay, so cancel the place. Cancel the placement. Box did not rotate this time, and now they snap into place. Honestly, that is a technique. You can cover your mistakes with trees and things, and that's what I'm gonna do down here along this ridge. I'll actually just hop over to the other plot so that y'all can see. I still look for it to say or move surprise, and it doesn't. And if you were here on Monday, yeah, Vince, co-work with me, co-build. Go work on your shit. But I mentioned this on Monday. These stairs are effective but kind of horrendous, so if they're horrendous to watch me going up, I'm sorry. They were the best I could do after like 5 attempts and trying to make them compact and slamming my face against the item limit. But what I was coming over to say is this little sideways banister here, I'm going to put on the other build as well, hopefully with better hidden plates. I don't even know what that plate is doing. And then I was thinking about doing the same sort of application for the... It was not 14 attempts. It wasn't that bad. But I'm thinking about doing the same sideways thing for the boxes that have little gaps on the top. And then something like this for the support underneath. Just to make it feel like it's vaguely architecturally correct. I doubt any of this is, but I like to be able to pretend at least a little. This is also going to be a much bigger rooftop patio currently than what I have here. So we'll see if we start hitting stack limits, in which case things might have to be scaled down quite a bit. But I'm going to hope that I get lucky in the meantime. And if I get to be very sad, then I get to be very sad. Okay. While I'm on this side, I'll go ahead and do the cancellation glitch here. Alien building code enforcement always makes emergency plan shifts necessary. Yes. And I've read, I think on Reddit, that the reason they have stack limits of 50 is because that was the height needed to, I guess, break through the skybox. Whether that's accurate to why the devs did it or not, I don't know. It's a pain in the butt. And I don't love it, but it's what we have to work with. And that's why I've warned to avoid connecting things all together if you can for this build and for the purpose of, getting certain things aligned properly. I have. But as much as possible, especially with the base attic build, I kept them in much smaller chains. Esha needs to get a life. Just saying. Aw, Vince, you're my first auto mod. And the term was her so bitchy. Not just bitchy, but her so bitchy. That's incredible. Interesting. This is going to be slightly askew, which is not what I was hoping for. So, this is a point where I have to decide if I want to just slightly back up all the supports. God, can you imagine if Esha was the auto mod? We would not be allowed to have any nice things. Ever. Oh, shit. I can't work on adjusting that placement with these here. Most of the collision's going to be fine. But unfortunately, the things I need to test will not be. Okay. The best part about that is that I already forgot which direction it needed to go. Okay, forward. And remember, always grab your anchor, not your anchored object. And oh boy, it does not like that. This is another option for using object cancellation. When I place this again, it'll all snap back. But in the meantime, I can use it to give myself some breathing room to try to figure out how to fix this. And you can see it moving alongside down there. And then let's see how putting one up here goes. Because then that's easy enough to recreate with the other pillars. That's a little too far forward, it looks like. I'm surprised you didn't get auto-modded for Yank, Paul. That's pretty close to perfect. So I'm going to try one more time, and I'm going to try to get underneath there in a way that I can not have to have the placement jump at first. So if you turn off your grids, and then it's going to be hard because it's covered up. It barely moved, and you can cancel placement until you get a spot where it does not move. That was a little enough move that I'm not too worried about it. So I'm going to just do that. And that's close enough to perfect for me. The issue now, the issue now is that I can't stay on my platform. The issue now is figuring out exactly where this is aligned. And doing my best to mimic it. Luckily, these don't need any kind of collision at this point. Unluckily, they do need to be where my head is. And it's unfortunately quite a big head. But these are all fairly approximate, and I don't think I'm going to worry about putting any furniture or anything down here. Possibly just some planks or vague decor. Oop. And like these that are a little bit more grumpy, if they're off by a pixel or two, it's okay. All right. So that's that side taken care of. I'm going to do the same with this side just so that it looks consistent. And then I'll continue boxing in the roof. It does look different on this side though. So okay, up just a little bit. Yeah, Vince, Paul is right, you know. You said you'd be lurking, and then you've been the most active chatter. I did not expect to be planning a it's situational channel point redeem, but I think I'm going to have to. I don't know that you did lurk because I saw you come in and then you were chatting. Okay, those are all adjusted. I will probably have to do, yeah, one more cancellation on this guy so that I can get one to snap. It's weird to me still that every once in a while certain things just completely occlude what you're able to use them for. Like this part of the roof, that support beam obliterates your ability to do anything else in that area without more significant glitches. And it gets kind of frustrating because sometimes you might not be able to do everything you need to do with this object cancellation glitch or placement cancellation glitch. So then you either get creative with just placing above it, or it's not perfect, but it's fine. Or you have to like glitch things into each other or under each other. And it's so much more work than it should have to be. We're not trying to shoo you out of chat, Vince. Or at least I'm not. I can't speak for Paul. But we just want you to be honest more than situationally. And that's pretty close to evenly aligned. So I'm going to keep rolling with that. Glad I made more small crates on Monday night and yesterday. Because I am burning through them. And I might not actually have enough to finish this. See, at least Paul is co-working, Vince. Or co-playing. Nope. So this is a situation where I'm going to see if it'll let me use this one to glitch place. Good, because I had one small crate left. All right. This is our boundary for our patio. Part of me does want to continue and make these even, but yeah, I'm probably going to have to because it's driving me a little nuts already. So, picking this up just to try to see what's happening underneath it. It looks like the base came from the walls on the outside first. So that corner's there. I'm gonna try to build down from here. Sounds good, Vince. How many rolls do you have? And where did you finish with that last competitive round? Which, by the way, if you want to play Monopoly Go with us, it's a very fun mobile game, and it's very addictive. So that's my friend code if you want to join. It's both competitive and cooperative, so don't be alarmed if your friends are sometimes doing more harm than good to you. That's just kind of the name of the game. All right, there's that one. And then build it down there. Oh, this is the one I had to... Yeah, this is gonna be a pain. I might see if I can do this more simply, because I don't want to go through the hell that I did last night. Very nice. I ended up finishing in second, which made me realize, and I should have realized this sooner, that you're not all put in the same like competition. I think it divides by either 40 or 50 people, and that's who you're competing against, because you were not listed as fourth on my competition. Which, like I said, makes a lot of sense. Nope. A lot of things happened there, but also nothing happened there. That was... Oh, because I wasn't using a standing object. Yeah, it would have been completely unrealistic. But thank you. I am very sad that they did not do a Golden Blitz today. Unless they started one since I've been offline. Because that's all I need to finish my sticker book. And there's like less than a day left. So I'm kind of sad about that. But that's okay. Okay. Let's see. That's about the right distance. It is slightly off. No Saxy Santa. Is that one gold? Because I thought I had duplicates. I just saw your Discord message about keeping fourth. I also don't know what dupes I have anymore. because I traded most of them in. But there's also that. Oh yeah, gotcha. Yeah, it would have been a nice token to get. And the 10,000 dice. How much time is there exactly? They could start one in an hour or two, Golden Blitz, because they usually run them for 17 or 18 hours from what I've seen. So we could still have hope, but I kind of doubt it at the same time. I would kind of rather base it on that. Oh, okay, there is a snap point for where I would like to put it. Let me see if that'll work any better. Yeah, probably. And two, I know you were a little further off from finishing them. So even with the extra 17 hours and all that, I don't know how much further you'd be able to get. It's a little too high. Oh, yeah, those 3 out of 9s are not gonna help you. They gave me so many dice in the last couple of days, and I got so many sticker packs, including the really nice one for coming in second, and a swap pack for something. I don't even remember what. And I have yet to be able to get another gold. And I don't know if the golds only drop during the golden blitzes. I thought that was just like whether or not you can trade them. But they're annoyingly rare. Gotcha, yeah. That's what it feels like. Oops. I'm trying to get this on pretty much exactly the same level. And I wanted to keep the placement orientation exactly the same, but that was not working with me very well. But that's better. And we have the gap that we have there pretty much exactly. So then I should be able to place this without glitching. Oops. This one will require cancellation. Yep. And it's finicky. There's that. This one we don't have the same gap, but that's okay. I don't think I'll need cancellation for this one. Nope. And then the front of that was the kicker. So I'm gonna go down and do the glitched pillars real quick. Oh, that's right, I stole the shelf. I don't even remember what this shelf placement was for. I think it was the support pillar and the crate. A little too high, looks like. I still don't love that Plinko board style. That star in the center is just kind of a pain. And I liked having two different targets on the first one. But Peggy has been very generous. I need to see how far I am from the final reward, which I think is a wild card this time. Because I have like 134 Plinko coins. Or 135 rather. Okay, so we have the same level of vaguely crooked that we had before. And then, if I'm remembering correctly, we needed the front. And then I think the pillars were weird on the other end too. Oops. Let me take it off of that because it's wanting to connect to the box and not to the pillar. There we go. That's what it was. The, them being slightly different horizontal placements meant that I had stacked those using the glitch as well. But rotating it like that, it's a little crooked front to back, but I'm more okay with it, honestly. And I can just do that, and it still looks mostly the same. Did you just attack me, Vince? Oh no. I do like zesty otters. Okay, there's that. And then... Oop. Bottom pillar. collision glitch for the top pillar because there is some overlap because I didn't take the time to perfectly space the initial pillar glitch. All of that spacing is a little bit funky. But I think it'll be okay. The biggest thing is that we can place all of this via this pillar. I'm going to, actually, let me cancel that a little further away. I don't want it to end up inside the house and colliding on things there, because then despite having separated it, it won't let me place it. Okay. I also need to make sure that it's going to be placed in a way that helps me get this actually covered up. So, let's see. Perfect. So there's the front of that. Oop. And now I can build in the rest of the wall. It's not going to look identical, but I think it being more similar will make me feel better about it. So it is still not perfect. So for this one, I am going to pick up the anchor piece and put the whole piece over there while I try to straighten out what's happening with this guy. Because the issue I'm seeing now is that this is sticking out too far. So I want to try to bring it back a little bit. Without screwing up the alignment. I also have to be careful not to actually attach it to this, because then the whole thing would be stuck there. Actually, I can just potentially plap these against the front wall. I'm going to reload my plot because I don't want to pick up the wall that the front wall is attached to, because I don't remember if it needed a collision to be placed. And now when I go back upstairs, it should be there waiting for me. Yep, so that's there. The height is a little different, but now I can start from here. And how did that height look by comparison? Slightly above as well. I think this is how I did it last time. Hopefully. Oh, I already have a stationary piece. This is where I run into issues, though. Because I think this was the depth where we can see it on the inside. But if this is ultimately the best way to do things to make the roof look symmetrical, more or less, then I might be able to just make another shelf or something out of this. Oh, and that's not really too bad. And it aligns with the pillars I have in place. It's not perfect, but hanging a little ceiling light on that or something would be cute in its own way. Oh, and it's mirrored there. Yeah, I'm fine with that. I'll just do little tiny lamps. I think, Vince, you might know this off of the top of your head. I think the makeshift line has like bare bulb ceiling lamps, right? Yeah, that looks okay. Gotcha. I'll take a look at my storage in a minute. And worst case, I can pull up Paleopedia on my phone and see. I'm gonna come down here and this is one where I had to. Ooh, I'm gonna have to glitch that into place as well. Did I leave a little corner spot open? Oop. Not on that side. And I don't think on the other side as well. No. Okay. So for that, I'll see if it lets me collision place those two. If not, I'll attach them to this front panel and then cancellation place to get them to snap back into where they need to be. So, 2. I'm just trying to see if that actually connected to the right spot. And it did. This section is all a little jankier than I would have liked, but that's okay. Get back under here. I'm gonna see if it'll let me place the bottom one without the top one interfering before I tear this back apart. And yeah, that's not going low enough. Okay. So I'm going to take off the originating piece. And now this is a whole structure that's a little bit more complicated. But I'm going to set this down. Actually, I need to pin it up against something so that I can work with it. And I need to place at least one wall, but I might as well do both. There. And then the other one here and here. And then I'm going to take that section off, cancel placement, and oh, I forgot it was all connected to the bottom there. So I'm going to reset it real quick and now take that off. And because of how this went last time, I think that'll be enough working space. If not, I'll reset it up there and see what I can do with it. Okay. So, I have this here. And I need it to snap into place that way. I'm going to make sure this is straight. And it's not going to work because that puts it inside the house. I'm going to see if this gives me enough room to reset. It does. And then I'm going to throw that really far out there so that I can, fall off the roof. Okay, thank you for looking, Fence. I feel like there was something that gave you a bare light bulb look. It might have been like the original log cabin set or something. But I don't know. I could also just be imagining it. Okay. Hopefully this will be the right position. I know this twisted on me a little bit when I picked it up. So hopefully that works. Okay, there's a box. It's not the most perfect box, but it's a box. And it somewhat matches the other box. Okay, so now we can, I do want to check one thing actually real quick, because if this doesn't span the full width of that little shelf area, I want to add one more board, just to make sure that line travels all the way across. And then once I check on that, before we get started on underlighting, I'm going to take a quick 5 or 10 minute break, and then we'll get back to it. Okay, cool. That spans the whole line. Doesn't stick out there. We're good. So I'm going to go take a quick break, and then we'll come back, work on lighting the underside of the roof up, and then maybe actually start decorating. We'll see. Until then, go stretch, get some water, and I'll be back. Hello, I am back. Hopefully, y'all had a good break. And now let's start grabbing lighting items. I'm going to grab a few different types to start because I really like the Capital Chic lighting options. And I'm going to make a couple more small crates real quick as well, just in case. But I really like the Capital Chic desk lamps. They're very bright, very versatile. But I was saying before, I do think they're about a block tall, unfortunately. So we might not be able to work with those. But I'll grab a couple. And then I'll grab some Homestead lamps. Oop. Let's see. I don't know why those stack and the Capital Chics don't, but they do. They're very petite. They're not nearly as bright, though, unfortunately. I have some Moonstrucks made. I don't think they're very bright. Emberborn might be bright enough. So we'll start there, and then if none of those work great, we can diversify. None of these are actually going to be visible, so I'm not worried about that aspect of it. I just want enough light to shine through where it feels worthwhile. So I'm going to start with some floors. I want it to basically be right where it is, right on the edge of that kind of ridge at the bottom. And I was going to say I don't really care about the directionality of these pieces, but I do. So I'm going to make sure I place them facing this way. Check the placement. That looks pretty good. And I'm only going to do a small section to start. I do want to simulate them being closed off, so I'm going to add some extra crates for now to kind of box them in. This isn't going to stay here. And okay, we're getting close to nighttime, so we'll be able to start seeing how bright they actually are. If I can get this to continue snapping. There was one spot where it was willing to snap. There we go. I could also do something where I glitch the top layer of floorboards and just don't have a bottom layer. And I can set it up so that the lights still shine upwards. That's a lot of rotational glitching though, and it could cause issues potentially unless I perfectly build all of it to where I can't place it. And then I would have to hope that cancellation placement does enough work for me. I might have to do it, and it would save a lot on item count. So we'll see. But for now, I want to see if it's even worth it. Because I also don't know if I'm going to decorate the top floor at all or anything like that. And by decorate the top floor, I mean with paving stones or wooden planks or rugs. And I wouldn't want that to throw off or obscure too much of the light if we put in all of the work to add the light in the first place. Okay, so that's boxed in. We're pretending that this is the entire roof, but it's just a little scale chunk. And then I'm gonna put down one of these. Approximately center. One of those, approximately center. And one of these, approximately center. And I'll extend it one more wood plank just to include the Emberborn too. There will be some bleed over from the different lights, but this should hopefully show us pretty well how each one performs. And if I need to go back in and block them off individually, I can do that as well. Oh. That. Turn on, turn on, turn on, turn on. So you can already see the difference in lighting quantity. Just from that quick display. This is why I love the Capital Chic set so much. Because it's powerful. But not all of them are quite as strong. This one I think is also colored possibly, but there we go. And it does look like the Capital Chic is going to be taller than I was hoping. So if I want to put the floor about where we had it here, it not only doesn't work, but you can see the tips of the light hanging through. So that's fine. I am going to place it down just so that we can see. I keep forgetting what inventory slot I have things in. Okay. So I wish it would let me turn that off. I can't tell much difference here as to whether there's a light underneath or not. Emberborn is doing a lot of work, and it is covered up entirely. It's not, though, the soft, widespread radiance I was hoping for. So I'm going to leave that there as an option. And take the other 3 out. And I'm going to go look for other lamps, other options I might have. And there's the potential, too, of glitching things, like I said. It would just make it a lot more complicated, but it's definitely an option. The other issue with the glitching, too, is if I don't leave the bottom layer of planks underneath, you'll be able to see the lamps just raw on the bottom of the rooftop floor. And that could be weird unless the type of lamp I pick is very particular. So I have no idea how tall the camping lamp is. Standing lamps are a no. Right now, ceiling lamps are also a no. Though that's a potential option. I'll try the medium because it might be short enough. Let's see. I don't think the ranch house table lamp is going to be short enough, but I'll try it. I do. I want to see how bright the spotlight is, because that could be interesting and potentially look appropriate underneath. Especially if it has good dye colors. These 2 I might end up using in a different capacity. But they are only placeable on ground type surfaces. So I would need to use presence to ground those. I don't know if I can place this on floors. Okay. So we can try candles. It's definitely not a safety hazard. Okay. That looks like it for there. Let me check crafting. I can try the bellflower table lamps. I think they're pretty bright. I know there was a glitch when they first released the search system, where users on Switch couldn't clear the search ever. I do still wish you had the option to have it here until you physically cleared it for things like this, but that's okay. I don't think a large will fit, but I'll try it. There actually is the potential, because I can put the wall lamps on the boxes. and just put them sideways and see how that goes. Smaller profile ones I might also be able to put upside down. I'll see how that looks. I think I have an industrial one in storage, so I'll check for that real quick. Then I think I grabbed that. Ravenwood could also potentially be okay. And what I'm looking for in thinking about these being upside down is potentially whether they would look okay from underneath, and also whether any sort of tip they might have on their actual hanging fixture would look okay as an... Vince, there's a reason why I'm a size queen, okay? But yeah, if there are any little accent bits, whether it'd look okay sticking through the box. So let me grab... This isn't the one I was thinking of, but that should work. This is what I was thinking of, Homestead. They're all tinted, and I'll have to fix that if I end up liking the base style, but for now... And it's nice and dark, so we can see what's actually happening. Okay, so... Camping lamp. Okay, that's a very tall, gentle glow. And I don't want the roof to look like it's on fire. This is a medium. Oh, wrong button. It's not at all centered, but... that might work. That gives off more light than I expected, but I don't know how much it'll carry. Oh, and it's too tall. This one I unfortunately do not have a ceiling for. However, that is very bright. I might end up using that as an accent around the edges or something. But I don't know that I'm going to try to integrate that in here. Okay, winter lights candle. Gives off no light whatsoever. Bellflower lamp is large. Very large. Large homestead? Homestead is too tall. Vince, it does not fit. Lily Ratton, also too tall. Okay, and now we're on the wall lamps. Yep. So, they would have to be glitched in, but that's not necessarily a problem by itself. And I can try them sideways first. The industrial casts a lot of light. I'm gonna try the homestead one here. Also casts a lot of light, and that's a lot softer. So I've used the homestead ones for detailing before, and that's kind of why. So right now, top contenders are the medium homestead lamp and the homestead wall lamp with industrial as an option. So I do actually need to keep one of these out as my kind of standing stationary object. And then I need to pick this up. What I want to do is try to keep this as unobtrusive as possible as far as how much of it sticks out, while still getting as much light as possible. And I did not see spot 4. Okay. I didn't see where it had gone in my inventory. Oh, but this isn't going to work this way, is it? Because it's going to place right side up. Okay. What I'm going to do instead is I'll see if it looks okay from underneath. And I may very well change the color on this one too. Just depending. So the top floorboard would be about there. And I'll put that in. I'd have to lower it a little bit, but it doesn't even look like it casts any light doing that. Okay. Interesting. Meanwhile, let me steal this to use as a stationary. That also doesn't look like it's casting a ton of light up top. So this idea might be dead in the water. However, I do really like the, is it Ravenwood? Yeah, the Ravenwood spotlight. So we can integrate that into the bottom layer, and that works for me. And that makes this build a lot easier. and lighter on item limit too. Because as you can see, I'm already more than a third of the way through the allotment. I do have, like, that's an old step build for how I was originally going to do the lightning bug or lantern bug courtyard. All of that will go away once I'm done building. My ramp will go away. So some of it'll disappear, but not enough of it. So cutting down where I can will be helpful for sure. And then something else too I wanted to figure out is how wide I need this to be to support the garden up here. And I think I'm technically 1 crate short on width. And that would be pushing it. So, and that's if I do a 3x3. I could do a 2x4 or something like that and be fine. It just wouldn't be quite as efficient. But I might also just save redoing my garden for a different part of the build or a different build entirely. It is a shame that we can't have multiple sets of garden plots for, creative purposes. Even if we could only plant them with, like, fake plants or something. Either way, gonna fill this all in. And I'm gonna see if I can get these even enough in height. I forgot that I needed to glitch this in, actually. Oopsies. I was gonna try to minimize the stack height as much as I could, but I don't think it'll even let me snap. Yeah. Yeah, that looks good. Vince, if you're still there, what are you having for dinner tonight? I'm starting to get hungry and wondering if I should ask Lane to pick anything up on her way home. Okay. Chicken nuggets from Wendy's or... Yeah. Do you get a discount or anything on days you don't work? Or is it just menu price? Okay, that looks pretty good. So I can do that too. Try to restart the stack a little bit. Ooh, that's nice. So, that thing I was saying about stack height, we just hit it. Yay. But that side hadn't hit stack height. However, that means that I won't be able to use that tile at all. So I need to figure out if I can rearrange things a little bit so that I can actually use that. What did I connect this to? There, okay. Nope, that's not gonna work. Trying to get this perfectly aligned is something. That's not exact, but if it works for stack height. Okay. So something else I was thinking about doing with this is not having how do I want to explain this? Not having it fully walled in like this, but just the corners. However, that's currently not really an option. So I have to figure out how I want to redo this. Especially because that then also means redoing the support beams to some degree, or trying to get the height right on these by reference alone. So let me fix this so that it's more of a correct height. I think it was on this one initially, though it doesn't really matter. Okay, that's all pretty even. So now that pulls off half of that. Let me see if I can actually stick this. Okay. Does that fix it for me by any chance? Oh, that does. Okay. I'll still pare down. Oh, I can't though. We'll see how far we can get away with this. If we can keep this working, then the patio structure itself is done. I'll just want to see if I can get supports set up. Yeah, otherwise this is the rooftop patio. And so far from underneath, it looks boring. But I think generally fine. I don't think I can patch in the little curves without it showing through, but I might be able to. That'll help it look a lot more uniform from below. So the curves happen here. Actually, it should work okay, because by the time it would start causing issues, at least on the side behind me, it'll be fine. I think it'll be okay here as well. Let me go up and do that. So what I want to do is try to patch up those gaps so that it's just a straight line across the entire roof. So that's my standing piece. I might have to actually get in there to do this. Oh, yeah. I probably will, because all of that was manually placed without the grid on the bottom level. So it's probably going to require that again. And then from there, it's going to be easy to find a wall and add a floor to the top of it so that hopefully it sticks out just a little bit. Kind of on the same level as that one. Oops. Okay, so I'm gonna open this up and then cancel. And now I have pretty free access in here. The ones I need to add to are, I believe, starting here. Yeah. So, new standing piece. That I immediately lost track of. Normally I like to have it facing the same direction I'm going to be using it in, but because of the tight quarters, I'm okay picking it up and rotating it as needed. And I really only need to place this on the top one. Nope. I'm gonna see if it wants to let me snap anything together. what I can do for now instead, that might hopefully make this easier, is change plans and then it'll work. Okay, so that should have worked. And now I can take my extra piece again, make sure it's aligned properly. Okay. And now it's backed up to there. So that's covered. Oh, and then that's shelves. Hopefully that's sufficient. Because I think those are in line. If not, I can get back there as well. Yeah, I'll need to add more to that. So I'm actually going to use this as my standing piece. And it should still work. Okay. And then, again, just pulling what I got in front of me. Yep. Okay, that should go all the way to the edge now. So I can escape. And it still looks unchanged out here. It was right behind this layer of wall there, so it doesn't show anywhere. Now I have to do it on the other side, and this is where I'm a little bit more concerned that things are going to get a little weird. But let's see. I am going to give myself a standing piece for this one. Yep. Make sure it's aligned. This one's eager to snap, but at a really weird height. Oh. It looks like this one, when I was placing the angles, I got it a lot more enmeshed on the corners, so there wasn't as much of a gap on the end for me to play with. That also wasn't the first turn, so that would be why. Okay, grab it again. And I'm actually going to pick it up and move myself down a little further to here. I hope no one here right now is claustrophobic, because the quarters are a little tight. with this one, because it's being a bit more of a pain, I'm going to cancel placement and put it in a little bit more manually. I do need a standing piece though. And then I can actually possibly do this without having to reset the plot. There we go. Now I can come back in here, grab my standing piece from before, and I have this wall available. Grab that. Turn my grid back on. Put that up. And then let myself out into the stairwell. And I'm going to use the stairwell wall as my standing piece. Try not to make you look into my mouth directly. Yep. That didn't work because it was a piece directly between myself and the piece I want to glitch. So I'll let myself back in and see if I can make it work from here. This. You can see the red outlines. There's a lot attached to this piece. Otherwise, I would just cancel place it. But I'm going to have to see if I can get it to connect through here. And this might be one too that I just have to connect from outside, because it lines up so perfectly there. And I wonder, it might not even let me use the stairs if I continue it further. So let's go see what we can do. Yep. Forgot about that guy. Okay. That side is nice and closed in. And I think that was the side we were working on. Perfect. So that looks good. That looks good. It actually has more filled in than we need. So I'm going to get in there real quick and just pull that out. Cool. So now I'll need to go back in and actually attach the horizontal pieces. Oop. Or I can try attaching them to the boxes from outside. I'll try that first. So I want them to be very shallow. And that's why I'm worried that they won't work from out here. Yeah. Unless I go really high up, and then that's not a pedestal height. So, back inside. Oop. I'm gonna start here. Looks like a good height. And now I'm trapped. I don't think I've had a build go sideways quite enough to get me to need to unstuck, but it's gotten close. Especially when you start working on the walls like this. I'm gonna see if I can build from that, from outside. Paul had mentioned it when I first built the base attic structure, that it seemed like I had made the attic itself a little narrower. And I think I had. It, especially the first time, but even after I expanded it a little bit, it still felt like I didn't have quite as much room. And especially now that I'm having to build with it, it's not even comparable. I had so much more room to work with on the other build, and it made these complicated shenanigans a little easier. So you can definitely move the walls further out for yours, and it might serve you a lot better. Especially because I don't like the way that was placed. I can't exactly tell which direction, but that's okay. Okay. I'll still have to go back in to position the other one on the other side, but if I can get one to work, seems like I'll be able to mostly do this externally. Maybe. I might have spoken too soon. I was already kind of planning on it, but I think next week I'm going to take a break from building and work on collection completion and things like that. Something a little bit more engaging. Maybe do some hunting parties if anyone's down. And save me some headache from this. Let's see. So that, yep, those have floor now. So then this is the first empty one, which is the one I was having issues with. So I'm gonna set down blank floor. Try it again from in here. I don't want to just place it here on the wall because I don't know if the height is going to be exactly the same. Oh, I suppose that works. Okay. Escape. That's my extra floor. I might be too on top of said extra floor to be able to use it for the glitch, but we'll see. And that was the wrong item. Okay. That looks pretty good. Escape. And I'm gonna see if it's working any better from the outside. Just in case it was only that one piece. Sometimes you get one spot where it just does not want to work. And then everything else will be fine. So let's see how it looks out here. Looks pretty consistent. Oh, it is wanting to work. It's still the tiniest location. And that's still the wrong item. But it is giving it to us. So I'll keep building it out here until it doesn't anymore. I'm not particularly claustrophobic myself, but trying to make things work in those tight quarters is more painful than I want this to be if I can help it. Okay, and one more. Okay. So now, this is a beautiful height because then we get that little bit of visibility in there where the tip sticks out. Just gonna put our standing object there. Oh, we don't even need it. For some reason, the spots where it wants to snap to are illegal. But then, centered, it's fine. And I think that looks pretty decent. Just a little extra support. I'm gonna keep it in line with the existing supports, I think. It would look kind of neat if it was staggered, but... Or I could stagger it on the edges. Let me see how that looks real quick. So instead of these being centered, I'll use this as my standing one. And then collision place. Oh, I like that a lot better. Okay, let's do that. I'm still gonna do every other board And that way, hopefully, it looks like there's actually some support happening instead of things just floating. Nothing wrong with floating, but it stresses me out a little bit. This area might end up looking a little busy, but I think it'll be okay. Cool. I am not excited to go do that to the other side. Okay. So, let's get back upstairs to the attic. Highly recommend making one of these bridges, by the way. Okay, this was the side we worked on first. And I just want to get in and see approximately where the planks fell. So it looks like they're kind of straddling that line. Oops. So I'm going to start them over here. Put a plank floor down. And then I wish I could see. There we go. Right about there. I'm trying to get my view sideways enough that I get the right placement direction. I think I did. Let's see if this one works the same. That gave me a different placement direction, so I'm just going to remove it and try doing it from outside. I don't think that one was finicky last time, so hopefully it won't be this time. Gonna fully pick this up and escape. Then this is where I have the one I just put down. Put down a blank. And see if I can get this to work. I think it's still gonna make me face too far out. So I'm just gonna move outside and hope. It looks like the position of the walls and floors in relation to the preset pillars of the house is slightly different. So I'm hoping that'll let me have a little bit more control out here. Because I think that's what was getting in the way last time. Landriona, hi. I don't know how far behind I am on seeing that chat, but welcome in. Thank you so much for coming by. How are you doing? Oh, and thank you for the follow. that alert even go off? Also, follows are supposed to be anonymous. I'm sorry. Good, I'm glad. What have you been up to lately? Sad. I switched away from sound alerts and went to just the native Twitch plugin again, and something there broke, I think. I might drop frames for a sec, but I want to play the alert for you because you deserve it. So give me a sec while I open up Firefox.
It's a miracle.
Okay, that played for half a second. That's so weird. Gotcha. I had tried downloading and playing Infinity Nikki. And my computer is way below the specs needed to play it. And I could play it on mobile. But it seems like something that would be more intense than I would want to play on mobile, if that makes sense. But it looks like a lot of fun. And it seems like people have been having a lot of fun with it too. Okay, I don't know what's happening with alerts. But I'll work on getting those fixed before Monday. Okay, looks like frames are alright, hopefully. Oh, weird, did that one? Oh, no, okay. Have you gotten any good pulls from the gacha system, Landriana? Gotcha, yeah. Ooh, which ones have you gotten? That one's being a pain. Oh, wrong way. But yeah, I tried playing Genshin on my phone too, because my computer can run it, but I figured I could be watching YouTube or whatever with my wife and playing Genshin on the side. Not an option. absolutely not doable for me. There's just too much going on. The combat is really clunky if you're on mobile. It just was not effective. Okay, that's snapping to something. Is that... Ooh, that is what I wanted. Perfect. Let's see if I can get it to go on this side as well. How did I get stuck now? Okay. Nope. Not wanting to snap properly there. So, this might be one where I manually place it at approximately the same height if I can, but it's wanting to snap down. Oh dear. Oh, I bet the froggy outfit is cute. Is the crystal one the one that was like the feature event maybe 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago? Or was that like Angel or something? I've watched another streamer play it a little bit. And I know he's very cautious about encouraging gacha games because they can be addictive. And he had to spend a lot of time talking people through, like, it's okay if you don't get it this time. It's okay. Which, if you like chill streamers and if you like Palia and Infinity Nikki streamers, definitely check out Mace the Moose. Drop him a follow. He's very sweet, very chill, and I think he's actually starting to consider streaming full time. I don't know how finalized those decisions are, but he's been working on getting what he needs to complete the point system thing to get a higher payout percentage. So go check him out if you can. That's the wrong item. That's a very nice wall I don't need. I don't even know where it went. I'm guessing it's that one. I should be able to remove that outside. Okay, that's progress. Okay. The crystal one is from the permanent banner. Froggy was limited. Gotcha. If you evolve the set, does it level up to 5-star or does it just get better? Ranger, hello. Wait, did I? Oh, I didn't miss a message. Hello. How are you, Ranger? You haven't been too mean to me in Monopoly yet. Okay, gotcha. Is the closet count kind of like a collectathon then? Well, thank you for dropping in to say hi. If you want to stick around and lurk, by all means, but please don't feel pressured. I'm going to be wrapping up in like 35 minutes, anyways. But I'm happy to see you. Oh, that's not my spare tile. That is. Aren't you happy, Ranger, that you came in while I'm inside the crawl space? Okay, that's a fun mechanic, Landriana. I feel like that also makes sense for it being a fashion game, that you want to collect all the outfits. Okay. I am going to see if it's working outside now, because I think I only have 2 or 3 more to put up. I do hope Infinity Nikki is still at least running, if not also somewhat popular by the time I have a better PC. Because I would like to play it and actually, more fully experience it. But I don't know when that's going to be. Because money is tight. We don't know when we're going to be able to refi, etc., etc. Adulting is hard. So we'll see. Oh, yeah. Having goals like that is perfect for you. Because you're complete on everything in Palia too, right? Why was this so easy on the other side? Yep. That's kind of where I'm at. I knew as of a couple months ago that I was going to start streaming. Excuse me. So I held off on completing like all of my bug catching and fish collection until now, and that's probably what I'm going to work on next week to give myself a break from building. But I am pretty much done with everything else. So if Elder Woods doesn't come out soon, it's definitely going to be time to redirect. Hey, puppy dog. Yeah, stream's almost over. Don't worry. Hello. Sokka is not used to his mother being gone late in the evening like this, and Dad being busy. He just wants attention all the time, especially in the evenings. Good, good. I hadn't really heard anything more from you or Geeko about Sante, though I also haven't been super active on Discord. Are you liking it? I would hope so if you're going all in, but sometimes I do things just for the sake of doing them, so. Loving it. Good. And they update, as I'm sure you've seen, constantly. So you shouldn't find yourself out of things to do, hopefully. I might have to put walls down here to make this work, which is unfortunate. What's your favorite Sante pet type, Landriana? That's not right, but I'll take it. Quinaris. I like the Quinaris pretty well. I really love the Pipsqueak. And if you need another Pipsqueak Shimmer Dust, let me know. But the Pipsqueak Canaris is an adorable little ball of just happy dragon. I do, however, have to disagree with you in favor of Blep supremacy. But I also just love axolotls and creatures that inherently look silly. Which, by the way, if you don't already play Sante and you like pet games reminiscent of Neopets and Iowas and things like that, check it out. Without a referral link, you do have to find someone from whom to purchase a Kickstarter key. It is still currently in paid closed beta, but with a referral code, it is free to join. You can set up your profile. And there's currently no friend system or anything, but I will not be offended if for some reason you do not want to be attached to me. after you have been referred over. But yeah, check it out. It's a small indie uh, game, and they're really very faithful to pet games of yore, but with modern quality of life improvements. And they update constantly. So definitely worth checking out if you can, or if you're interested. Gotcha. Yeah, and the first edition pet name system is fun too, in my opinion. And it's something that you can kind of turn off for yourself if you don't care about it. But I like sitting there with some kind of vague idea of, yeah, this looks like a vegetable, and trying to find a vegetable name that someone hasn't already claimed or something like that. It's nice that you plan that far ahead, though. That's something that even if I try, I can't stick to. Yeah. And it feels like they're already gearing up for the next one. With mining, I wouldn't be surprised if we get some kind of like geode or something for a coloration. So try to prepare for that question mark. Are you trying to have one pet of every color that fits within your scheme? Or is it just kind of whatever matches the name? Ah, which one did they beat you to? Gotcha. I don't know if I recognize that name, so I can't guess the book series. Which one is it, if you don't mind sharing? Okay, still need one there. Okay. Definitely haven't heard of it. Is it fantasy, sci-fi, erotic literature? There. Okay. Now I could set these up again. Okay, alternate world, historical fantasy. Very nice. By alternate world, do you just mean like not historical in the sense of based on real history, but something similar to Earth? Or do you mean like isekai? I need more pillars. Oh, wrong way. Probably only need 10. I do have more wood cooking on my main plot though if I need it. That side's already done. Okay, cool. I feel like medieval Western Europe is a pretty common setting for those kind of fantasy political intrigue type things. Very recognizable to Western audiences, for sure. Yep. Okay, cool. That did. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, this one doesn't get a last support because that would normally go right here. Or I could glitch it into the box. There we go. That's fine. Okay, that is the main structure of the roof. There are some decorative pieces that I still want to do, like the trim over here. That'll have to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pillars long, which really isn't too bad. I think my last one was 11. Same here. and then possibly some trim on top of the boxes. But honestly, I was thinking about, was there supposed to be a pillar here? Where did that go? Decking them out with plants or something to hide the imperfections. So, might not need to do anything special there. And then we can actually decide what we want to do with it. Every good fantasy European world has to have Vikings. All right, with that, I think I'm going to call the stream here. I don't really want to get too far into decorating when I'm supposed to end in 15 minutes. But yeah, we've got the base structure built. So thank you so much for joining me. Landriona, if you want to talk more about that series in Geeko's Discord, by all means, hit me up. Thank you, everyone who came in and chatted. Thank you to any and all lurkers who were here. And I'll be live again Monday, starting at 2 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. I think I'm going to switch gears and focus a little bit on bug catching and fishing. If you play Palia and you want to join me at that time, I should have room in my party. And if not, we can still, play alongside each other and have a couple different parties. And yeah, that's all I have for tonight. Also, keep an eye on my Blue Sky. I did release a little teaser of what games I'm planning on playing on Valentine's Day. So keep an eye out for that. I'll have a rough itinerary once I get a better feel for how long each game will last and whether I'll want to do multiple runs through any of them. And that will be an 11-hour stream with half an hour to 45 minutes for lunch in between, and then, a couple small breaks. So look forward to that. Anyways, thank you very much. And since I have viewers here, let me look into rating for the first time. I think I'm going to stick with a Palia raid. We don't have drops currently, but the other person I would have wanted to raid to is playing a South Park game, and that's a very different vibe. So let's see. There are a lot of people playing Palia right now. I was hoping I'd recognize more of these names. Let's see. I have no idea who this person is. But let's go raiding. I didn't realize the countdown was somewhat mandatory, but 10 seconds are up. Let's go.